Ever notice how, like, the simplest things can sometimes, like, really make you think?
Yeah, totally. Yeah.
Well, our listeners sent us something really interesting.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, it's called Pasted Text by this guy Akshay Moore,
Okay.
and it's all about street food.
Huh.
But, like, specifically bel, that puffed rice and spice mix.
Oh, yeah, yeah, of course.
And you might be thinking, like, what's so deep about a snack, right?
Right.
But Akshay's piece about eating it at these village fairs really got us thinking.
Yeah, I see what you mean.
Like, it's not just about what bel is, it's like this whole wave of memories and meaning.
For sure. And that's exactly what we want to kind of unpack in this deep dive for you.
Yeah, exactly.
How he uses this simple dish to, like, look at some pretty big life stuff.
Totally.
Not just the taste, but, like, the memories and the meaning all mixed in.
It's like he's saying so much more than just, this is bel.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And hopefully by the end, you'll have some aha moments of your own.
Yeah, for sure. So think of us as your guides. We're going to go through Akshay's memories with you and try to figure out, like, not just what he experienced, but
Right.
why it meant so much to him.
Exactly.
So Akshay starts off by, like, really painting this picture of a village fair.
Oh, I love that.
Right. You can almost hear the sounds and see everything, like
Yeah.
all those sweet sellers with their, colorful displays and fruit carts overflowing with, like, all kinds of fruits.
Yeah, yeah.
And then the ice cream, calling your name.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
But out of all this, what was it that really caught Akshay's eye?
I'm intrigued.
It was the bel being made.
Oh, wow.
He's, like, super drawn to this one vendor, and he describes it so vividly, the
Yeah.
chopping of the onions and coriander,
Yeah.
and that swirling ladle in the big bowl. It's, like, super sensory,
It is, yeah. And it seems like he was really drawn to the process of making it
Yeah.
more than just, like, the finished bel.
Totally. Like, the anticipation and the skill of putting it all together.
Exactly. Like, it was like a performance almost.
And clearly it, like, stuck with him.
Yeah.
Because he talks about spending, like, half his pocket money on bel at the fair.
Wow.
Like, for him, the fair was all about the bel.
That's dedication.
I know, right? And then he uses this Marathi phrase.
Okay.
Full fist peho.
Hmm.
It basically means, like, our soul became bel.
Oh, wow. That's deep.
Right. Like, his whole being was wrapped up in it.
It's like saying the bel was more than just food.
Totally. It was an experience.
Yeah. And it really shows how those, like, sensory things from childhood, especially with food,
Yeah.
they get so tied to our feelings and memories.
It's like they become part of who we are.
Exactly. And then it gets even more interesting.
Oh, yeah.
When Akshay starts talking about, like, what bel actually is,
Okay.
he points out that unlike other dishes with, like, a fixed recipe, bel is super adaptable.
True.
It can be oily, dry, sour, spicy, sweet.
All of the above.
It all depends on, like, what you want.
Yeah, totally.
He even uses the Marathi words for them. I
love that he does that.
Yeah, it's cool.
Like, it brings in his own voice.
Totally. And that flexibility is, like, super key.
How so?
It shows that bandel isn't like this rigid thing.
Okay.
It's like an experience that you can customize.
To your own taste.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that becomes like the basis for this really cool comparison he makes.
Oh, this is where it gets good.
Yeah, hold on to your hats.
Hey, ready.
So Akshay compares bandel to life itself.
Whoa.
Right. He says that all those different tastes,
Yeah.
the oily and the dry, the sour and the sweet, they're like the mix of happiness and sorrow, good and bad, that we all go through.
That's kind of beautiful.
Right. It's like he's saying life isn't just one thing.
Yeah.
It's this constantly changing blend.
And how we experience it depends on how those things are balanced.
Exactly. Like, are we
Right.
leaning too much into the sweet or the sour?
It really makes you think about your own life balance.
It does, for sure.
And then Akshay shifts gears and talks about this specific memory
Okay.
of eating bel made by this guy named Viky.
Vicky's bel.
Yeah. And this seemingly normal event just unlocks all these memories for him.
Wow.
He says in Marathi, "Afanakatadela how howdy,"
Okay.
which means, like, the dust was blown off the books of memories.
Wow, that's poetic.
Right. Like, Vicky's bel wasn't just food.
It was a time machine.
Totally.
Yeah.
So what was it about Vicky's bel that was so special?
Good question.
Well, actually it talks about Vicky's unique technique.
Uh-huh.
Like, he stirred the ingredients in the opposite direction.
Really?
Yeah. He even says in Marathi,
Oh, lay it on me.
I'm cheating my internet gets half to you. I'm you. Okay, what you phone Rosie? That's why you happy.
Dearest.
Which means that with the ladle turning in reverse in the bowl, the hands of the clock of memories started turning backward. Right. And he also points out how carefully Viky added the spices.
Interesting.
Like he was measuring and balancing the very elements of life.
It's like Viky had this special understanding
Yeah.
of how to bring all those contrasting tastes together.
Exactly. And Akshay definitely felt that.
I bet.
He describes eating Vicky's bear as bringing balance to the happiness and sorrow in his own life.
Powerful stuff.
I know. And he even compares each puffed rice grain to a single moment.
Ooh.
He says, we humans get caught up in extremes.
Yeah, like all happiness or all sadness.
Exactly. But the real skill is finding that middle ground.
And Viky had that skill with Bear.
Exactly. And this brings us back to that bell as life metaphor.
Yeah, it all ties together.
It's not just about knowing good and bad exist.
Mhm.
It's about mixing them in a way that works.
Like finding that harmony.
And Akshay believes that Viky had mastered that.
Fascinating.
And that leads to his idea of the enduring appeal of Bell.
Okay.
He basically concludes that life's going to have ups and downs. But the key is to mix them well, like making Bell.
With a smile.
Right. And he felt that eating Vicky's Bell actually corrected the Bell cocked in his own life.
That's like saying it fixed the strayed proportion.
Yeah.
Like when things are out of whack.
Yeah.
Even if it was just temporary,
Makes sense. It's like a little reset button.
Yeah. And he ends by saying he wants to keep eating Vicky's Bell.
No matter what?
Wherever he finds it.
That's commitment.
And then he has this awesome final line.
Okay. I'm listening.
I tag Deganapil, I get a gadia.
What does that mean?
So hashtag Graga is like a term of respect for an older man.
Okay.
So he's saying even if the guy making the bell is just some random uncle, the bell itself is king.
Like it transcends the maker?
Exactly. Like it has this legendary status.
It's like Bell is the boss.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So as you can see, this deep dive into Ball has actually uncovered some pretty deep ideas.
Really deep. About memory and balance and how even simple things can have so much meaning.
It's like a reminder that meaning can be found anywhere.
Yeah, if you know where to look.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So what part of Akshay's bold journey resonated with you?
For me, it's that idea that life is like Ball,
Yeah, the mix.
Yeah, and that even when things feel off,
Mm-hmm.
you can maybe adjust the proportions and find that balance again.
It's a nice thought.
It is. And what about you? What ingredients make up your life bowl?
Ooh, that's a good one.
And are they in balance right now?
Something to think about for sure.
Totally. Or has there ever been a food that's had like deep meaning for you?
It's amazing how food can do that.
It really is.
I think.
Anyway, thanks for joining us on this Duke Dive.
Always a pleasure.
Until next time.